quantum past life regression. Tremendously healing. It can be life-changing.
Mysterious misconception around past lives. You led me to multiple lives.
All of us have different gifts. How much we are related to our ancestors and to their stories. Being a seer, it was forbidden. There is so much healing potential. So just be open, curious, and go with it. The world needs a healing.
Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to the Medium's Table. I'm your host, Michelle Gardner. This podcast is your personal invitation to join me at the intersection of the everyday and the extraordinary. Together, we'll explore the magic of mediumship, share spiritual stories, and connect with fellow mediums on this incredible journey. So grab a seat, pour yourself a cuppa, and come join us at the Medium's Table, where spirits gather and stories unfold. I'd like to welcome back to the show Kasia. Now, I would love to tell you what Kasia does, but her list is so long that I'm going to let Kasia tell you what she does, because some of those therapies that you do are like, that's like a paragraph.
Yes. So thank you very much. Thank you. And I so appreciated of being here, to be invited here again. My journey started initially with the soul readings. I was interested, intrigued how it worked for me when I was seeking help. When let's say, standard form of a therapy wasn't available, or I would have to wait for so long, but I needed it at the time. So someone appeared in my life, because we know how it works. When you really, truly need it, those people are going to be put in your life. So it happened for me. And so I had that initial soul reading when a sense of guilt, which I was feeling, shifted, disappeared. And how magical it was. And I was in this belief that one session and this disappeared, and my life was slowly changing. And when it was changing, I felt that I need to look deeper into those soul readings. So yes, I'm a soul reader now, and all of us have different gifts. So at the time, there was 15 of us learning, and all of us were doing it in a slightly different way, because the spirits, the energy connects with you differently. So I feel quite privileged that my soul readings are quite therapeutic. Okay, but that's enough about it right now. I can explore this later on. And then through there, I was still curious. Knowing soul readings wasn't enough for me. I was always drawn to mediumship and a psychic side of understanding and seeing. So I have explored that. And then transmediumship. So sort of like all of those doors became open for me. And my curiosity was growing, still seeking where would I fit in, or what is really truly mine, and how I can help people and also myself on my own journey. And therefore, I have found a Family Constellation Therapy, which this have blown my mind, how deep it can be, how tremendously healing it can be, life-changing, and how much we are related to our ancestors and to their stories. And quite often, what we feel doesn't belong to us, or those stories which are sometimes happening to us, certain patterns, they not necessarily are ours, although yes, happens to us in this lifetime. But believe me, it happened potentially to your mother, to your father, to your granny or great granddad. And so when we discover this through family constellation, whether individual therapy or group therapy, I do it through Zoom, so anyone can access it at various times from different continents. So when you discover this, then it is a perfect opportunity to heal it. And so it could heal completely depending on what your body allows it, really, because everything, it is a process, takes time. So sometimes you might be healed completely from certain wound, situation, pattern, and sometimes takes few sessions. So just be open, curious, and go with it, and you may help yourself. So yeah, family constellation therapy is a thing which I truly believe, because it really helped me to become a different person, to become a better person. But it wasn't all. As of, I still wanted to explore what is still out there, what I can do. And that happened within the time when I was looking through or browsing internet, because I was always interested in past life regression. But when I was looking at it, reading and watching other people, kind of like aggravation was sort of forming in me, as of not agreeing fully to how it is being done, why there was so much, maybe why there is so much fear around it. Certain past life regressions are being done through the medium. So the client doesn't do it themselves. Someone else does it for them, because potentially the person might be too scared to do it. I think through the generations, through centuries, there was so much negativity about seers in general. That person was banished in the past, burned in the past, killed in the past. And, through the generations, I don't know how to say, most of the world became Christian, or so many parts of the world. And, being a seer, it was forbidden. And therefore, these people not only were punished and banished, but those faith representatives were saying how bad it is. And if you are going to be doing it, you may lose your life. So people, I guess, started believing that it is something really, truly bad to be doing. And also, we are in a different times, in a different era, but that fearness is still around it. And so when I was listening how certain therapies are being done, spiritual therapies or sessions, I just didn't agree with it, because it can be done with the connection to the best of your potential, with the highest love, when you feel it, when you become it, and you then not only accessing it as of touching it in that spiritual sense or energy sense, but it changes you internally, I guess. It's difficult to explain what it happens when you feel really connected to the source at the time of, whether it is quantum past life regression, which I do, or whether you do different spiritual reading, the way we do it, because it can be done with full of love and understanding and kindness and empathy. It doesn't have to be sold sort of in a negative way by the therapists or by the people which are doing it and teaching the younger generations, still in that fearfulness. So I guess I just wanted to be different. I wanted to show that it is beautiful, and you may find out so many extraordinary things about yourself, your life, your different lives, and sometimes how much they are correlating with each other, and what you have learned in a different lives, and what you potentially could implement in your current life. Because from what I understand, but not obviously all of past life regressions are being done that way, but some of them are, that when someone accesses different life, there is a need to cut off something because there is potentially some other entity or something along a demon being in a different lifetime. Or you may need to be cutting off some chains because there is whatever happened there. And it's like quite scary and overwhelming for some. So imagine this. Imagine your life, just your life. So in 100 years, when you are not here and you are in a different life, so your soul is in a different life. So that life wants to do a quantum past life regression. And so the soul, the spirits, your higher self, knows which lives you meant to access, to learn from it, to feel empowered from it. And potentially that life in the future, in that 100 years, may access your current life. So is your current life surrendered by demons? Is your current life surrendered by entities? Like in a negative way? Your life, well, you went through certain stories, some of them quite difficult. You've been put through so many experiences, not always positive, but then also there was so much positivity in your life as well. You have learned, you have experienced so much. From some of the experiences, maybe you have literally learned. From some, maybe not. So that person in the future is going to be accessing just that, how your life looked like, what were the thoughts and feelings. And I guess that is so beautiful in that way. And all is surrounded by love, understanding. So it's how the quantum past life regression looks like, which was developed by Dolores Cannon so many years ago.
Yeah. And I agree with what you're saying, Kasia. There is, in all the decades, I don't want to sound too old, but in all the decades that I've been on this earth, and exploring spirituality, different modalities over those decades, there has always been this mysterious misconception around past lives and who you were and how you were. And I can vouch for this particular modality that you do. You have done this with me, and it is very beneficial and totally not scary in the way that the subconscious mind will never allow you to be harmed, or, it'll never allow anything to happen to you that would be harmful to you physically, mentally, or otherwise. Yeah. So, and you're there watching, you're gauging, you're leading the way, and you are such you are such a light of positivity, and you are so meticulous in how you do your therapies and so highly trained that, there was no doubt in my mind that I was in good hands with you.
Mm.
And you led me to multiple lives in which I had lived, and not all of them female, mind you. So, for the men and the women out there, yes, in other times you may have been male, female, different gender. It happens.
Mm.
But it's very interesting and some people are visual. I was able to visually see these lives and feel and know, and you're drawing upon those lives to benefit you in this lifetime, to whether it's overcome an issue, to heal, and whatnot, depending on, as you say, depending on the person. It's a unique journey. But I can vouch for this therapy. It is very interesting. And I love the fact, like you said, that it is the client that is doing the work. You are experiencing this event or these events, these lives. It's not, the medium on the other end telling you, no, you're leading them into these lives. And that in itself is, it's fascinating. You walk away like, wow, and it's incredible. And it gives you, I feel, as, the client, a much deeper understanding of how deep the soul is, what can be presented. And it's sometimes, often, or perhaps, all the time, something that you would never imagine, that you could never imagine was going to happen or come up in that therapy. And that's what I love about it. And you tie it off very nicely. The way the therapy works, it's got such a beautiful flow to it. And it all ties up very nicely to ensure that the client walks away like, I can say, wow. But again, these therapies can have that domino effect. The presenting issue, there's so much more around that. And that comes out, for some people, I know, immediately. For others, for me, it was like within the week, I was able to give you feedback on what had changed. And there was, the biggest thing that I noticed was a huge feeling of, I want to say, peace, of balance. It was almost like anything that was a little bit unbalanced, suddenly, there was calmness, there was still waters.
Yeah.
And that's what I needed that. And sometimes you don't know what you need until it happens.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's when your soul guides you to those places, to those moments, because we live our lives and we feel somehow. And sometimes we don't really truly recognize how we feel and what we may need. And when you discover, whether it is a past life quantum, past life regression, whether it is a soul reading, or whether a family constellation therapy, only then, after, when you feel that peacefulness, it is completely different, something you have never experienced before. Then you notice, so it's how I meant to feel, how our life's meant to be. But because you are not doing it, because you think you don't need it, you're not experiencing it. But the minute you do, your life changes and you seek that harmony within yourself.
Absolutely. And like you said, there may be some people who are a little bit, and again, understandably, different countries, different beliefs, how they've been raised, religion could come into play. You offer the soul readings, if someone's a little bit, oh, they want to feel the waters, a soul reading's really great and very beneficial, because there is a lot that can come out of those, isn't there?
Yes, yes, there is. And I guess, yes, as you were saying, for someone who has never experienced a reading as such, it is, in a way, the easiest one for the sitter, because you just sit and listen and just be open. And the soul, the spirits, the energy is going to do the rest. So within the soul reading, which lasts, let's say, roughly about an hour, I connect to your soul, to your guides, and I'm being led. I never know what I'm going to say. And that is the beauty, that is the excitement of it, because I don't need to prepare. And those informations appears, and you as a sitter, as a client, you can then give me feedback, whether it was or whether it is relating to your life, and always is. Always
Yeah.
is. How I know it, I don't know. I just have that faith that I'm being guided. And so sometimes I may access some information about your past life, because there is a need to mention it. Whether there was some story, you meant to know about it, you meant to heal something, you meant to, whatever reason happens, but you will find out on a session. I may access your childhood information, or the information is going to be given to me because maybe you need some healing, maybe some trauma happened and you are deeply wounded, and therefore you need to heal it. So you are just sitting there and you listen. Sometimes I talk about current, present time, or situations for you. Because maybe you are on a crossroads, you may be potentially meant to make some decision, and they are kind of guiding you, but they never tell you what to do, because decision belongs to you. It's more like a guidance. And sometimes they mention situations or stories about near future. I had a client with 2 years after we have done soul reading, she got in touch with me, and she says to me, Kasia, I have re-listened actually the recording, because I record if you would want me to. It is for your own use. And so, yeah, she was curious, listened to it, and then she couldn't believe that I was talking about situations happening in her life nearly 2 years later. So at the time, she was in kind of disbelief. What is she talking about? And I didn't know what I was talking about. Like, it made sense, but she couldn't really place it. But because she understands how the readings works and she was open to it, she just let it be, let it work. And so the soul spirits guides were leading her towards the answers. And it took 2 years, but she got there where I initially was telling her where she's going to be. How beautiful it is that she
Yeah.
listened to those guidance. Mm-hmm.
And it's very beneficial for a client or the sitter to be open, isn't it? To be very open and accepting, like I have an open heart.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know in my own experience, you have someone that comes in that's very closed off. What's your experience on that? If someone comes in closed, like how would you prefer your clients to come into any of these sessions?
Um, Well, yeah, it's quite important how you come to those sessions. If you are non-believer, but curious, that's okay. We can still work. I can still give out a reading, but the type of a reading depends really on your energy. The more open you are, the more allowing you are, then the more I can access or the more informations I'm going to receive. So it is not like in a school where the teacher does the whole work and then you see the results. It actually is other way around. The more you are allowing and open, the more beneficial it is for you, the more healing is going to happen behind the scenes. Within soul reading, it is behind the scenes. So you may feel straight after the reading you are full of energy, or you may feel a wee bit drained, because your body needs to adjust to what just heard. And it may take a day, it may take a week, maybe a couple of weeks. But you will feel the difference. You will see the difference. Your thought processing is going to potentially change. And, one session, be it again, I'm repeating this, but one session may not necessarily fix whatever issue you may come with, but just be open-minded, and after a couple of weeks, a month, you can come back if you feel there something has happened and you have noticed the change. So I would say is soul reading is the most delicate, although it isn't. But like your involvement isn't physically necessary. You just sit. You are going to be quite relaxed. I'm going to do small visualization meditation for you, just to open you up even further. But then when it comes to family constellations therapy, it's quite something quite different, and it's quite deep as well. But you need to be, I guess, internally ready for wanting to do the work, wanting to change the patterns, or to discover those patterns if they are there, and then willing to change or work towards it. When we have met a few months ago, I was talking about individual therapy, but now I have expanded and I do group healing therapies through Zoom, which is a mind-blowing tool, because when you come with an issue, with some problem, then the other people which are within the group, they are called representatives, and they are doing kind of the work for you. They are representing family members or certain wounds, and they talk about it, they feel it. It's an extraordinary experience. And yet again, it's difficult to explain it. You would need to come with an open mind and experience it yourself. I do those sessions every Wednesday morning at 9:30 and every Thursday evening at 6 o'clock, all UK time. So hopefully that can fit in within the place you are in the world. And to register, just reach out through my email, through my website, through Facebook. You can go on to YouTube every Thursday morning at 9:30 UK time. I offer sort of 5 minute soul readings, spiritual readings to the viewers. They can be slightly different to how soul reading looks when we are one-to-one within that hour, because I've got more time. But within those 5 minutes, some of my viewers were so touched and and healed. Imagine only 5 minutes, but there is so much healing potentially coming. And even though, and I remember one particular reading I have done to this beautiful person. After that, I have received a phone call from a colleague of mine, which was just listening to it. And she was so touched and so grateful that she came and heard those words as something she needed. So as you can see, the healing is happening on so many levels, and not just for one person, but for the group. And that's why I offer my time on Thursday morning. So you can come, you can explore it, you can see it, you can feel it. And then if you feel the need that you would want to explore it further, we can always meet up for either soul reading, whether it is quantum past life regression or whether it is family constellation therapy.
Yeah. And I love that you offer these little bite-sized samples on YouTube of, like you say, soul spiritual readings. And that gives, the viewers and listeners an idea of what you do. And you can also go back. So the previous YouTube episodes they're all on there, aren't they? You can go back and listen. Yeah. So even if you can't make it to one of the live events, you can go back and listen to the previous ones. And that's a great way to really understand what's happening. I love that. And so realistically, you offer the soul readings, which is quite gentle. It's a very gentle modality, or like a very gentle way of reading. And then you have, and anything could come out in that as well, couldn't it? Past life, current, anything, whatever the soul wants you to know.
The spirits comes through, and I honor anything what is happening, because they know the source, the spirit, your soul. They know what you truly need. So whatever happens is there for you. And it is not for me to understand it, why it is happening, but you will be able to take it. You will be able to understand it. So, yeah.
So that's, a great, for anyone who's new to this, who's wanting to understand more, the soul reading's a great way to go. Once you get to, and let's just say you've passed that level and there was no possession. I just find that just so ridiculous. But anyway, I mean, look, each to their own, because there's so much love involved. It's like so you've then got the family constellation therapy, which that's when I'm just going to say shit gets real and you're really, things are happening. I know from my own experience as being part of a group session as a representative, and also being the person who came in with the issue, holy moly, that is a domino effect and a half. That is almost like it was like, I just don't even know what happened there. It was like everything was changing on so many levels. It was like, how is this possible? It was almost like within a matter of days, and then it just kept going. And it's like, different beliefs that I had or feelings towards something was just like totally different. Reactions to situations, just everything. Oh, family constellation therapy. That is, that one. I was just, that one blew me away. That one. But you've got the quantum past life regression. Did I say that right?
Yes.
So that one in itself, I love that for the fact that, again, as we mentioned, the client is very involved.
Yes.
You are experiencing your past lives for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That is an amazing experience. If you have always wanted to have those experiences, you won't just, well, I can't guarantee because I'm not there, but you know, how everybody's session's going to go. But to experience multiple past lives in a session, whoa, whoa. That's, if you're into that, I would be locking that in because that's going to blow your socks off. That's incredible. And it's not just experiencing the past lives, it's for a purpose.
Mm.
And that's, you know, that's what brings it nicely, like ties it all up nicely. It is for, there is a beneficial purpose for that, healing, you know, overcoming issues, whatever your case may be. So that being said, when someone comes in with the family constellation and the quantum past life regression, do they need to come in with an issue, or can they just come in and say, I'd like to have this experience? How does that work for them?
With family constellations therapy, whether it is individual or within the group, you come with an issue.
Okay.
Because we need to work on something. And yeah, you just you say it out loud. What's been bothering you, or what was difficult or is difficult, maybe certain patterns happening in your life. Whether it could be health reason, could be relationship, could be you overspending, could be anything really.
Yeah.
Children, parents, other things.
So it doesn't just have to be about you. It can be a relationship issue.
Could be. Could be. And whether you're noticing patterns or not. So, for instance, yesterday I was holding family constellation group therapy, and a client came with, she thinks she has memory loss. Like it happened on certain occasions where, let's say, she was driving and then she forgot where she was going to. Or it's one of the examples, but it was happening in different situations as well, where it still kind of, well, became an issue. Like why it is happening? She's in her 40s. So yeah, the representatives were unraveling what was underneath it, and we got to it. We have healed it, and and she has left changed.
Wow.
Yeah, it's there are no words to express what you feel after. You
Yeah.
know?
It's something that you need to have that experience for yourself to fully
Yeah,
understand,
yeah.
Because I remember trying to explain to you how I felt and what had changed. And I'm just like, I don't know how to put words to this
Mm-hmm.
because there was no words to describe this really great. And I want to say empty feeling, like a heaviness had lifted, but it's like some people see emptiness as a bad thing, but it's no, it's a very freeing, it's like freeing, empty, like it's like, I don't know how to say this, but it
Mm-hmm.
felt really good. It was
Yeah.
amazing. So
So, was family constellation, you are coming with an issue, a problem, something you would want to resolve or find the answers and heal it. With quantum past life regression, no. No, you just come as you are because you are curious, because you would want to evolve, you would want to find out more. You may have some issue and you may get or you may receive an answer to it. It may potentially be healed as well because we are working within the highest of energies, the love, unconditional love. And that is healing itself. Before we start the quantum past life regression, you need to prepare 5 questions for the universe, for your higher self, to hoping to receive answers, and then you are going to be mind blown what answers are going to be given out. And it
Yeah.
is you going to be actually answering those questions. Well, not you, your higher self. And that
Yeah.
is beautiful. Never thought when I had my one done so many years ago, I was mind blown. First of all, experiencing being a male in a different life. That was what? When you are just looking at what is happening, how it is happening, you are able to access those feelings. But that tied in, I mean, his experience tied in so well, and it brought such a clarity to my life, sort of looking for answers. Why? Why am I being pushed in the way I am just now? Because before I was a manager or I was a leader in whatever other place I was working. And accessing this lifetime has given me the answers. Why? I couldn't believe it. Um, after the quantum past life regression, took me about 6 months to tie up all the puzzles. I mean, the last puzzle kind of happened 6 months later. I couldn't believe. It's like, wow, okay, I understand it. And I was so grateful because if I wouldn't experienced it, not that I wouldn't be on the path I am right now, but potentially could have taken me longer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm
Incredible.
so grateful. Mm.
Yeah. Now, if people have questions around this or they're not sure, they can
Mm.
reach out to you, can't they? Through your
Oh,
website.
absolutely. Yeah, through my website, through my email address, through Facebook is the easiest. Record a message through Messenger or write to me. And as you are aware, I am working. I'm involved quite heavily within the session, so I may not always have time to respond straight away, but I will do it and we can take it from there. I guess, the world needs a healing.
Oh, yeah.
We deserve to live free lives from patterns, from expectations, because we are quite, involved in what, and I'm talking from my own experience as well, but my clients as well. Those expectations were put on us, whether our parents did that or grandparents or society. We meant to be living free life as of us choosing who we want to be and have that privilege to be choosing. And I'm here to support you, to guide you, and you are going to be making those choices and you are going to be feeling the difference.
Yeah. And I love your passion behind everything that you do. It radiates from you, and you know what this is like because you've gone through these therapies, and that's what I love. The best therapist is the one that has had to go through therapy to get to where they are. They understand. Oh,
Mm-hmm.
thank you so much, Kasia. So, Kasia, how can people? What's the name of your social media channels and how people can find you?
So YouTube, you can find me on YouTube through Soul Connections with Kasia. My website, it's called exactly the same, Soul Connections with Kasia. And my Facebook, Kasia Michalak. But on my YouTube, on my sort of first page of YouTube, the main page, you are able to access all that information. So yeah, it's easy to access it. Also, I have not mentioned yet, but I am starting teaching. Well, I have been teaching so far, but there is a new course happening, and it's happening at the end of August. Soul readings.
Ooh.
I think it is quite amazing tool for you, for all of you, to get to know yourself better, to have that ability to sit down with yourself, to unite with your soul, to be receiving those messages, because the soul wants to be in touch, wants to contact you, wants to pass over informations to make your life easier. So it gives those informations, but not always is so clear and so understandable. So I'm teaching how to access what is happening. And same with your guides. The guides, we all have guides. Who are they? How they look like, what do they say, why they are here. So that is building that connection. But also, yeah, just sitting in the power. What is it? What do you do? What is happening within this? So it's not only that, but also opening up to your gifts. And as I was saying earlier, all of us have different gifts. And I remember from my own journey when I was learning, I had quite, therapeutic gifts as of healing, accessing those traumas or different lives. But there were beautiful women which they saw angels, and things were happening within the reading, but the angels were quite highly involved. And then another person, it was quite magical what was happening. Oh, so many animals would have been coming. So yeah, everyone is different, and everyone does it in a different way, and that is okay. It is not a competition that it has to be done certain way, like in a classroom, that all has to be done the same. And I think that is even more exciting because there is no pressure. You can be the way you are with your gifts, and you don't have to be like someone else's. So yeah, I teach, and then you exchange those readings with your colleagues from the group, and because you need to practice. How can you be doing this if you are going to choose as a source of income? So yeah, you need to have that experience. So you are going to be quite heavily involved in practicing, and yeah, let's hope we will build something first, form something quite amazing and beautiful. Let's more of us heal. Let's more of us give out to the world, and let it flow.
Beautiful. I love that. It sounds quite comprehensive. So can anybody join that? If you are totally new to this, can someone who is new or intermediate, advanced, who can join this course? Is it for everyone?
Well, I would say it is for everyone who is open to that modality, because you are going to be learning to feel, to experience it, to not only to feel, but to see, through your mind's eye. So someone open to it, like curious about it. And yes, you can expand it, you can learn about it. But yeah, I guess that sense of openness, it is really important. And also someone who is not afraid, I guess, to be talking about their own experiences, their own traumas as well. We are going to be doing healing to ourselves, to each other. So that kindness and empathy is crucial for this work. So that may be something for you.
How exciting. I love that. So if you're ready to surrender all of your issues and unburden yourself and learn more about your spiritual gifts and ways, contact Kasia and, inquire about her course. It sounds wow. And you'll have Kasia there to nurture you all the way. I love that. Thank you so much, Kasia. I will put the links to all of your social media and your websites below, and also some details about the new course if anyone wants to contact you about it and sign up. And I cannot wait to have you back again shortly. I just love the energy that you bring to this and the passion. So thank you so much once again for gracing us with your presence today. Thank you. Thanks for joining me at the Medium's Table. The universe is always speaking. Listen and let your spirit soar. Curious for more? Click on one of the videos below and remember to subscribe.